Welcome to Cody's Friendship Unit. My name's Chris. I'm here with Brian,
What's going on?
Jake,
Hey guys.
and Jeremy.
Yo, what's up?
This is it, guys. This is the precipice of the beginning of next gen, really, to me. Like, we saw the box, the Xbox Series X, oh my god, I'm going to screw that up so many times, at the Game Awards. But we are getting the first gameplay of a next gen console on May 7th. And I don't know, to me this is kind of exciting, especially because like there's no more E3, like these are unprecedented times or whatever. This is like, it's kind of like unique in general, like in console launch history, and it's kind of unique in terms of this console launch. It's just, this is the beginning of like the rollout of announcements that is next gen. And we're going to do a little pre-show on that. We're going to talk about what we already know is going to be shown at this event. And then we're also going to make some predictions of our own before we get into it. If you guys found this video helpful, please throw us a like. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to be shown for gameplay. And if you love us, please sub us. So the first thing I'm going to get out of the way is I'm just going to say there's a quote that's out there. Microsoft's event will include next-gen gameplay from Microsoft's, quote, global developers partners, but Xbox Game Studios games titles will be showcased at a later date. So we're going to focus mostly on third-party stuff, but we are going to circle back to some first-party stuff in case there's like a one more thing kind of announcement at the end. But the first question I want to ask you guys, this is gameplay premiere. What do you want to see out of, like, without mentioning a game or anything, just what do you want to see come out of this like next gen box? Because I have graphics. Yeah, graphics is it for me.
A whole pipe load of graphics.
Big graphics.
Graphics.
And sound graphics too.
Yeah,
and graphic violence. Like, yeah.
They are supposed to have ray tracing with this, and the ray tracing Minecraft demo, beta, whatever, just came out, and you don't get particularly good performance with ray tracing, so I kind of want to see if they're going to be running these things with ray tracing, what kind of performance are you getting?
Yeah.
I agree. I also want to see like a ray tracing like I want them to show me that ray tracing matters, because I do think that it matters, like going forward, especially now that all the consoles are picking it up. I think that means like it's going to start becoming a thing. But I want them to show like meaningful improvements, unlike when it first rolled out. Because it does look good on Minecraft, but like I want them to do some like good stuff with it.
Right, but if you have like a 2080 and you can't even break 60 frames a second in Minecraft, like how are you going to run anything with ray tracing on?
Well, that's true path tracing. So Minecraft is like taking ray tracing to the nth degree. But you can, you can just do, like ray traced reflections or shadows or whatever.
But I think it's still a fair point. You know, how far are they going to be able to push it and still have a consistent performance? Like, I think I'm curious, as Jake is, about what the performance is actually going to look like with some of these new games.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical, but at the same time, like once they dropped the specs for the Series X, I was kind of shocked at what they were claiming they could achieve. So I'm ready to be surprised at what they're going to present, especially on the ray tracing front. But I'm still skeptical.
I think my biggest thing is they are pushing this PCIe Gen 4 NVMe solid state drive for like extremely fast performance, and these drives are insanely expensive. I just bought one for my computer. It's like $200 for a terabyte, and I'm sure they're getting some kind of bulk deal, but like you have to prove to me that that is a worthwhile investment, because like as it stands, I mean, there's like videos from Brian's favorite tech advisor, Linus Tech Tips, where Brian hates him. I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah, fuck that.
But like, there's comparison videos of like in the current state of video games, there's not really a huge advantage to having this insanely expensive one. I'm not saying that SSDs aren't important, because the current gen definitely needs to move to SSD, but I don't know if we need to move this far and this cutting edge into SSD. So I really want them to show like what that means, because you're only going to get a terabyte on this new console when games are over 100 gigs now.
I thought that new drive was related to the ability to like pause any game and have them basically all idle and have multiple games like paused and active and instantly recallable at once.
Yeah.
So that's almost more like a quality of life feature. Like you're never going to be able to, their bet is just that people will really enjoy that quality of life improvement.
To be able to accomplish that on a Gen 3 NVMe, though. I mean, honestly, you could probably accomplish it on any generation of the NVMe SSDs.
But like, yeah, so like, I guess I want them to show like some insane amount of data being loaded in. Like, it would be very hard to do this. Like, I don't know exactly how they do it. Sony kind of did it with Spider-Man, where they showed like fast travel kind of working on, or they showed how fast the game could move the character on a PS4 versus this new title. And you could move it like many, many times faster because it can load the data faster. I guess I'd want to see that. Like, just prove to me that we need this insanely expensive, because this is a $200 SSD in a consumer setting.
Yeah. And in general, I just want to see this console working and running and doing things, because this thing is a beast.
Yeah, I also want to see the price, but I suspect we will not get that.
No.
Got to build the hype first. Have to get people to be like, wow, this thing is actually pretty good. And then be like, it's $850.
Right. And Chris, you just built a computer pretty much following the specs of next gen, which you did in a video, but your computer is a regular ATX large tower size, and the Series X is like tiny compared to that. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm still shocked by the specs that they have in this thing. I just want to see this thing working.
I think they're gonna have problems with it.
Xbox have problems?
Let's think about Microsoft. Like, when you say Microsoft console, what's the first thing that comes to your head? Red Ring of Death, right?
Yeah.
And like overheating problems. And so just like I'm looking at their website showing off like the page talking about it, and it looks like, you know, a 6x6 kind of square that's maybe 18 inches high, right? Then you scroll down to the thing where it shows you like the internal parts, and the thing on the right, I think, is a heat sink. So that heat sink is about 6 inches wide by about 6 inches high, and they got this like, the whole fucking thing is designed like a chimney, right? Like it's
supposed to like suck the air out the top. Yeah.
But you put the intake vents on the bottom where it's gonna pick up all sorts of dust and shit and like all the crap. Like you didn't put them on the sides, and I get that you want, like, it looks really sleek aside from the kind of melty looking top. I don't like that a whole lot, but otherwise it looks like a premium kind of product. But if you had just put some vents in the side of it, so that, I think they're going to get clogged up in the bottom, and they're going to overheat, and they're going to die.
Well, the only thing I'll say in defense of that is the PlayStation 5 is running not identical specs, slightly lower specs, but they are running very similar specs. And at least as far as the heatsink goes, and I know that the form factor is a lot smaller than like your typical ATX PC, but I'm using the stock cooler for what is ostensibly the same CPU as will be in the Series X. And I mean, it has good temperatures.
Yeah, but is it crammed in a little tiny box?
That's what, yeah,
like
they wouldn't
put in a heatsink that was that big unless they really figured out during like preliminary testing, Jesus, we're having overheating problems with this thing. Like, that's an extreme measure, and the more I think about it, the less I like it.
Well, and rumors have come out from Sony about how like cooling it is, like, their cooling solution is gonna be crazy.
Right, just make it a little bit bigger. You can make it look, you know, if you made it 8x8x16 instead of 6x6x16, like, nobody would really care. You could still preserve that whole, you can make whatever aesthetic you want. Just scale it up by like 20% and save yourself the headache and the consumer. Because, like, if you buy an $850 console, you kind of want it to work. And then, like, that was just the price that Jay threw out there. But this is going to be an expensive product.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, we'll see about that price. What about the release date, though? Do we think we'll get that? Crickets.
Well, I mean, if they're saying they're having a game come out for it holiday 2020.
Well, yeah, it's launching holiday 2020. They've said that, but like a hard date.
I mean, not to like bring up current events, but I feel like we could have gotten a date, but with, you know, the current global pandemic, maybe that's a little in flux at this point.
These are unprecedented times, so we don't
unprecedented. I don't know. I'm sure they'll mention something. I'm not sure if we'll get a hard date.
Well, holiday 2020 is 6 months away, effectively.
It's kind of less, like, because 6 months away, you're like closing on holiday 20. Like, it should come out in October if you want to sell a bunch.
Yeah, October, well before Black Friday.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
but I'm thinking, like, if with this pandemic, I'm sure their supply chains have been disrupted for months at this point. They may not have the supply to launch at Christmas time.
I agree. I think if it does launch, it will be extremely scarce on both ends of the spectrum, on Sony and Microsoft. Well,
Which is not necessarily a bad thing if you're them.
Yeah, definitely, because then it's flying off the shelves in your
Nintendo style.
Yeah, Nintendo style. Yeah, well, let's talk about the games. So let's start with the only game that we know for sure, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. How do we feel about that, and what do we think this Series X could do for Assassin's Creed?
That trailer looks so good.
Yeah, the trailer does look cool.
Trailer looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It does look cool.
It's not going to be an Xbox exclusive, right?
No, absolutely not.
Right. So what will Xbox Series X do for Assassin's Creed, or vice versa? My guess is probably not much, because
but PS5 is basically running a very similar spec line. I mean, it seems like with Origins and Odyssey, they found kind of a new stride, if you will, and it's just basically like an open world RPG. It's like a very generic Ubisoft RPG, which isn't a bad thing, but I guess make the world bigger and run it at 4K is all I could say.
If I was expecting any game to show off ray tracing, I kind of am expecting Assassin's Creed to do it, because they're a big enough game. It seems like they're posing to be a launch title of some sort. So I'm interested to see if they have some like big Xbox Series X like software tech that they're going to show off. They're like, oh, this is the big thing that we do with Series X.
If they could get the graphics to like 85% of what they were in the trailer, like the in-game graphics, I think it would be stellar. Like, and you can see, like, I know the trailer is different. It's not gameplay footage, and it's not meant to be gameplay footage, but you can see, like, some of the stuff that, like, when people are like, oh, ray tracing, look at all the shit that it can do, and like the lighting effects, and like, you can see that they're kind of trying to showcase that the way this trailer is set up. And if they can even get reasonably close to that in game, I think it would be a huge seller.
I can't believe that graphics are getting better. I know that always is happening, but shit, like, games this gen look pretty good.
It kind of happens at like big giant leaps. It's not. It's not. You're like, oh, GTA looks pretty good. Like, oh no, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think we'll be surprised, Brian. I think we will get visual fidelity close enough to this. At least from like a polygon count.
That would be a really, because like, I mean, the violence in that trailer was fantastic. But it takes a lot under the hood to make stuff look realistic like that. Like the people's faces and like the eyes and stuff. Like the eyes are never, up to this point, they've never really quite been right. But that was like, oh damn, like these, you know, with kind of weird effects, it could be real people.
I mean,
You know,
honestly, when I played Death Stranding, like that, I still cannot even comprehend how they got those graphics. That everything in that game. I mean, the details on the characters are unreal.
Yeah, Death Stranding's like the one game that like transcends like the eye thing that Brian talks about for me. But I
Yeah,
like that's the only game.
right. And they did it on a PlayStation 4.
Exactly. Like a base PlayStation 4.
Right. Like I can't even imagine them running that on like a high-end PC.
Well, you'll be able to find out in about a month.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on AC? This is like the first time I'm like like excited to see Assassin's Creed gameplay in a while. I mostly because it's next gen, but
I guess my one criticism would be I feel that the Nordic setting is a little passe at this point. Like I feel like the crest of that was maybe 2-3 years ago. Still,
yeah,
still a good thing. But
I don't
go
know,
to
dude.
fucking.
they're pretty violent.
Vikings are they're extremely
They are
violent.
extremely
Like
violent.
Yeah.
zombies. If you think about how long the zombie thing went, that went for.
But
a
you
good
don't want to
long
be the
time.
person who's like putting out the zombie
But
game in year 4 of the zombie
This
thing.
could
That's kind of my
this
point.
could be peak Viking. I think this could start a Viking
Eh.
craze.
Left
It could,
4 or Last of Us. That was the end of the zombie craze.
And everyone
Yeah.
was like, "Holy shit! One more zombie game that was actually good." It was like the only good one in like the past like 3 or 4 years.
And then they were like Last of Us 2 coming out soon.
And it's not really a zombie game. It's like it's not good because of the zombies. It's good because it's like a narratively strong game.
and it has chilling parallels to our current
To our-
everyday experience.
All right, let's move on. So that's the only game that is confirmed to be premiering in this gameplay thing. And I said at the beginning we're going to kind of focus on third-party games up front. I was just kind of thinking about other games, and the first one that came to mind for me was Cyberpunk, mostly because that's like a known entity. There's already footage of it running, and there's a decent partnership with Microsoft. They already have an exclusive bundle coming out, and there's already a confirmed Xbox Series X like patch. Like if you buy it on Xbox One, you get it for free on Series X. So to me, it seems like a logical next step.
It's also a game that's really going to show off, the visual capabilities of your console. Like The Witcher The Witcher 3 looks beautiful. Cyberpunk so far looks gorgeous. So similarly to the Valhalla discussion, like if you're just trying to show off, hey, we got some good graphics over here, Cyberpunk seems like a logical fit.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm sure we'll see something from them. But I don't know exactly what. They've already shown quite a bit of gameplay.
And that would be a really good game to show, like when I was saying, oh, I think we should show like comparisons on ray tracing. I think that would be a good title because it's already a known entity and we've already seen it running. Like they could show, here's what you saw at last E3, here's it running again with on Series X, or something along those lines.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at Call of Duty. They tend to announce their new game. These are unprecedented times. I know that. They tend to announce their game around now. And I don't know. It's gonna come out.
If it's out, it's gonna be on the Call of Duty's on fucking everything.
Yeah, it'll come out on the Series X, but is it gonna be shown at this gameplay event?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I don't know how much like Call of Duty is like it's like FIFA at this point. Like it comes out every year. It's pretty much the same thing. Like you either like it or you don't really like it, and everybody knows about it.
Kids
Like,
love it though.
Right, but you don't need it. They already love it. You don't need to tell them like they're gonna know there's a new one coming out and they're gonna buy it. Like you don't really have to attract people to that at this point.
But from like a gameplay perspective for Series X,
It's not gonna be anything different.
I mean, I agree, but
It's gonna look better, but it's gonna be the same game that it's been for the past like Jesus
15
12 years.
years,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree that it might not. I also think that they would want to announce and launch their trailer on their terms.
Yeah, it's a huge
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of sports, I think if there was one like console to highlight the sports games that aren't FIFA, I think there's a chance we see like some EA like football game or something. But I don't think we really need to talk about that. But I think if there was a place, we'd see it here. You know.
If that's what you're really into, like this could it works just as well for the Vikings killing people as it does for making it look like you're watching an actual football game.
Looking at Tom Brady.
If you want.
But yeah, I don't think we have much to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, any other third-party games? I had trouble thinking of this.
That are likely to be like announced at an Xbox thing?
Well, shown
Or
gameplay.
heavily featured?
Yeah, like a next party or a next gen third party game. Jake mentioned Watchdog Legion.
Yeah, I don't imagine we will see much from them. Maybe just like a hey, this is coming out kind of thing. I can't really think of any other third-party games. That honestly, I'm more excited to see what the new Xbox games studios are going to release.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the one more thing at this point. Because I'm excited to see what's announced, but I'm not sure how much or little in terms of titles are shown from a third party standpoint. I do think that there's a fair chance that we get like a one more thing at the end, because a lot of people are going to be watching this. If Microsoft wants to show or announce something, now would be a good time. I'm just going to throw a few names out, and if we have any other names, we can just dive in. I'm just going to throw a few things out because I was digging through. We could get a new Halo Infinite trailer. We could get a Halo 3 remake trailer because Halo 2 just launched on the Master Chief Collection for PC. They could announce a 3 remake coming out on Series X and PC later this year. Hellblade 2, they've already shown footage of that. They could, blow it out more. Project Mara is a game that got a teaser from the developers of Hellblade 2. Flight Simulator, we might get a Series X version of that. I don't think that's really the right vibe. And then the only other thing I could think of is like a Series S announcement, like the lower end console announcement. But I don't think we're going to get that either. So do you guys have any thoughts?
Halo.
Infinite.
Flights, not flights. It just wouldn't work on a controller.
Well, it's already coming out on Xbox One, but
yeah, but like
it's not the place.
It's
not the place to show.
Yeah, it's not. It's not right. Yeah, you want to show the Viking.
I want to see Halo Infinite. Like even if it's another just like 30-second drop, just like give it to me.
That's how you get people to watch the Xbox event. At the end, you got to be like, and this is Master Chief.
Yeah.
And he comes out and you do the song, and you're like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but which song do they do?
Oh,
There's so many, dude.
The Halo song.
They just play them all at once, and it's just garbage.
And then they show the Master Chief skin that you can get for your series. They need to do something about the name.
It's tough.
It's like it's like the Chrysler LeBaron, which was at one point was 3 different cars under the same name. Like they were completely different. They need to just come up with a new, like call it the Xbox 2, or call it just.
They stuck with Xbox One for 7 years. I don't
call it the Xbox 720 or whatever. But like you got to come up with something else. You're just confusing people at this point.
Every generation, they somehow make the name worse.
They could have called it Xbox Zero.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but then what would the next one be after that?
The third one is the Xbox One. You're like, how fucking stupid can you get? And they're like, Xbox Series X 2 HD. Like,
but Jeremy, it's a palindrome, all right?
I don't give a fuck.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Is it a palindrome?
No.
Right? Xbox Series... Wait, there is a way that it becomes palindromic.
If there was another I.
The whole thing spells Xbox, doesn't
the whole thing spells Xbox. That's it. Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
You look real close. The Xbox word, it spells Xbox.
How does it work? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't work. It's stupid. They should name it Xbox.
All right. Well, I think we all agree that Halo is probably the most realistic thing because that's their killer app for launch. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, tease us
We
some
haven't
Halo.
haven't seen Infinite in like forever.
And we never really saw gameplay. We saw like a cutscene in engine.
Oh yeah, we saw like a teaser trailer.
Yeah,
It
show us
was
some,
less than a teaser trailer.
show us
Yeah.
some Halo, Phil Spencer. All right. Anything else?
They should call the Xbox Halo.
I agree.
That would make sense.
Well, Cortana worked well on Windows.
No, it didn't. But
No,
if
it
you just
didn't.
called the box Halo, people like, I'm going to play Halo on my Halo.
Well, I think we're clear on this.
What if they called it the Pillar of Autumn?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're clear. So, I mean, we're going to be doing more coverage of this. I don't know if it's going to be a group discussion or if it's just going to be a solo video, but on the 7th, we will be making more content. So if people want to maybe indulge in that content, what should they be doing right now, Brian?
Well, if you have thoughts about the Xbox Series One X, or any of the stuff that we talked about here, go ahead and hammer your thoughts on that down in the word box there. And like Chris was getting at, if you subscribe to this channel, this is how the deal works, right? You subscribe to the channel and you get to see all the shit that we come out with, like when we come out with it. And if you like this video, there's a veritable shit ton more content like this right here on the Cohesive Friendship channel. So you can hunt around for that stuff. We do give away things from time to time. So, there's multiple benefits to your subscription in these challenging, unprecedented times. And smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
Thank you, Brian. Catch you guys next time.